So we left off in our main.js by adding a route to slash, which would render our homepage component. So let's first include that main component inside of our app.js. So let's import main from ./main inside of our app.js. And inside of the class of onboarding, let's add that main component. This will allow for all of my routes to be configured as well. Inside of the main component, we saw that we brought in homepage, but we actually don't have this component yet. So let's go make that. So inside of components, let's go make a new file called homepage.js. This is going to be a very simple component that's acting essentially as a landing page that's going to display the message list, which we're not going to get to yet, or just a standard landing page that asks the user to sign up. So we're going to import React from React. This will be another stateless functional component, so we don't need to destructure component. We'll also import link from React Router DOM. We're then going to make a function called homepage. And this is a stateless functional component. We'll pass in props later, but for now, all we're going to do is return. Let's make sure we wrap this in parentheses. We'll return a little bit of JSX. So let's start with the class name of home hero, which we'll style in a little bit. It's not going to look good now, but that's okay. We'll make an H1 that says what's happening. We'll then make an H4 that says new to Warbler, and then a little call to action with the link component to /signup. We don't have any of these routes built yet. We're just adding a little bit of HTML to get us to those routes, which we'll add in a little bit. Let's give this a class name of btn primary, pretty standard Bootstrap. Let's just make sure we spell primary correctly. And here, let's close up that link component. And inside, we'll just add the text, sign up, here. Let's save this and take a look in the browser at what we have so far. So it's going to tell us export default imported as homepage was not found in components homepage. Well, we got to make sure we export that default homepage. It's a pretty common mistake you'll make. Let's go take a look. Element type is invalid, expected a string, but got an object. Check the render method of app. So what's happening here? Well, this is happening because we accidentally didn't wrap with router and include main. You want to make sure that with router includes everything, connect as well as your component. So if we take a look now, we should see what's happening, new to Warbler, and our button. Now, we need to style this a bit. So let's go back to our index.css. And let's make sure that we style this correctly. Using Command P to jump to files. If you're on a different machine or setting, that might be different, but on a Mac and most text editors will allow you to do that. So inside of our index.css, let's start styling this homepage component. After that onboarding of navbar, let's add some rules for our home hero. Let's style this home hero. So we'll give anything a class of home hero, some width and some height. We'll give this a width of 100 viewport width, and we'll give it a height of 100 viewport height. We'll make sure it completely covers the entire page. We'll give it position of absolute and start positioning it in the top left. So at a top of 0 and a left of 0. We also want to make sure we give this a display of flex and align items of center and a justify content of center, so we can center horizontally and vertically. We also want to make sure that we give to the background image. So what image are we going to use? Well, that's going to be a URL. And here we'll go to /images/signup home /signedout-home.jpg. That should give us our initial image, and it's completely covering it, but that's not looking too good yet. Well, we need to make sure that we give it a z-index of -1 so that we allow for our navbar to post on top of it. We want to make sure we still see our navbar. Let's go center a little bit more. Let's go give this a text align of center for any text inside of there. We'll give this a little bit of breathing room, so we'll give it 1 rem of padding. We want to also make sure that we add a background position of center, 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 so that image is completely centered in the middle. We also want to make sure that we give this a background size as well of cover to completely cover that page. So it's getting a little bit better, but all of our text here is displayed horizontally as a row. And so we want to make sure we change our flex direction to column, not as a row. And now everything's centering vertically. That looks good. It's a lot of CSS that we wrote. So take a look in the previous sections on Flexbox, and I'll add some notes on background positions and so on to help out with that. So we got this nice little page right here. I think we're ready to sign up users, but there's a little bit more styling that I want to add. Let's give this a color of white so it pops a little bit more. And that's a little bit too white, so let's get fancy here and add a little bit of text shadow. So all we really want to do here is just add a little bit of blur. So we'll give 008 pixels, and then we'll give it a color for that text shadow. That gives us a little bit of a brownish color. Make sure we get that semicolon so we're compiling successfully. So we refresh this and that looks better. So we can see that text kind of pops out a little bit. Text shadow is a really nice way to get that to happen. So in the next section, let's start putting more together, start signing up and logging in users and building those components to do that.